part of the air, so it'll bend downward. And so our spot on the screen will move down compared to how it was without the ice. And so light moving across the surface of the Earth actually bends downward toward the colder air. And so it makes faraway cities beyond the horizon actually appear visible.
A century before, and 3,000 miles to the north, there was another startling sight on the horizon. Axel Heiberg Island, the Arctic, June 1906. Here, where the days and nights can be 6 months long, explorer Robert E. Peary sees a vast land of snow-capped mountains and valleys in the distance. In 1913, another expedition is sent to map the new land. Following Peary's directions, they see the mountains and valleys, but the Inuit guides say it's all nothing but mist.
The Inuit, they knew these lands didn't exist because, well, they'd been there.
Ignoring the Inuit, the Americans press on. But over the days, the land shifts and changes its form and size.
These explorers went in search of land there over the horizon, land that simply doesn't exist.
It was either glaciers or icebergs or something that were visually lifted relative to the expedition.
Even today, the Arctic is full of imaginary landscapes that look real, but they're an extreme version of a superior mirage called a Fata Morgana.
In the Arctic or the Antarctic, you have ice along the ground, which keeps the ground level air very cold. Above it, especially in summer where the sun never sets, the air above can be quite warm, and so you get a temperature inversion. Because those conditions stay constant like that, people can go back year after year, decade after decade, and see those similar, strange, mysterious lands that really do not exist at all.
You don't have to go to the ends of the earth to see a Fata Morgana. But where the temperature constantly changes, the mirage only lasts a short time.
First time I ever saw a Fata Morgana was sitting on the beach in Southern California looking out into Catalina Island. And one day I looked over, and where before there'd always been this nice little gently sloping island, on this one occasion were these huge cliffs, and as if the island itself had suddenly transformed into something different.
I've observed mirages where it looks like there's distant mountains that just don't even exist.
A Fata Morgana, or a superior mirage, is a sight no one can ever forget. But there are even more amazing sights up north, where the black of night is banished by some of the strangest skies anywhere on the planet, thanks to winds from outer space and power from the center of the earth.
To present the flavor we've all been waiting for, the hazelnut spread M&M Spokes Candy. Oh my. What did you do?
We ate him.
Breathe. Every breath makes you feel closer to nature, and every sip makes nature feel closer to you. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold. Beer in its organic form.
We're programmed to always do more, to go faster, to work harder, to hustle, hustle, hustle. At Nectar, we believe in the unhustle. That's why we've made the world's most comfortable mattress, sold at a great price with a 365-night trial and delivered right to you. So take a nap. Hit snooze. The hustle can wait. Nectar, the best sleep of your life guaranteed. Go to nectarsleep.com today.
Let's be honest. Insurance can feel a little outdated. The paperwork, the calling for everything, the searching for ID cards. It's like you're stuck in the 90s. That's why Esurance makes it simple with an app that has everything you need, because that's how we live nowadays.
Oh, rad. Your ID card's on a bodacious tiny future TV.
Wow, you are really committed to this whole 90s thing, aren't you?
Well, no, I'm just saying what's in the script.
That's true. Everything we're saying is in the script. When insurance is simple, it's surprisingly painless.
Introducing
Target Circle, a more rewarding Target run. With deals and surprises, it's free to join. You'll score more and help support your community. You're invited to Target Circle. A more rewarding Target run is waiting for you.
Clean up your lawn and garden the smart way with a DR Chipper Shredder. Drop lighter materials into the shredder and the DR will pulverize it into a fine mulch you can use to enrich your soil. Reduce leaves, garden cuttings, sticks and twigs, even big branches, to a fraction of their original volume. The chipper cuts branches up to 5 inches thick into attractive wood chips that are great for landscaping. A DR Chipper Shredder is a complete yard and garden tool that turns your trash into treasure and leaves your property looking great. Call now or go online to lock in factory direct savings on the full line of DR Chipper Shredders.
For a free buyer's guide about the full line of DR Chippers, call 1-800-796-6402. Your satisfaction is guaranteed with our 1-year trial, so call now. 1-800-796-6402. Free shipping is now in effect. Online at drchipper.com.
Our 24-hour tour of Earth's strange skies has reached midnight. And in the frozen north, the skies are alive.
I was in Alaska toward the end of the summer, and I just saw wisps of green, and I thought, oh, wow, what's that yellowish green? And then I realized, wait a minute, that's the aurora.
Seen from space, it looks like a crown of energy around the top of the planet. From the ice floes and fjords, it looks like a dazzling curtain of light.
Growing up in Alaska, standing at the bus stop in winter, I'd be there 3 hours before the sun would rise. But on certain mornings, you'd get the aurora. And it was like seeing this dancing light show across the sky. And there, it'd go from white to green to red.
They're called the Northern Lights, but they're seen at the South Pole, too.
If you were to look down at the planet as a whole, you'd see the light concentrated at the North and South Poles in rings of light.
Even the Northern Lights can stray south. February 1872, the aurora lights spread down the sky as far as Cuba, and thousands take it as a sign of the end of the world. What power creates such a phenomenon? It turns out that the aurora's beauty begins with a stream of deadly energy, charged particles from the sun called the solar wind.
The solar wind is actually the sun's atmosphere that is constantly burning off and exploding out into space. And that blows at us as a constant solar wind.
Streaming across space at nearly 1 million miles an hour, the deadly radiation would render Earth as lifeless as the moon. But it doesn't, thanks to a planetary defense system that begins thousands of miles underground. In the center of the Earth is a solid iron core the size of the moon, surrounded by an outer core of molten metal the size of Mars. As the liquid core spins, it creates a magnetic field that extends through the Earth and tens of thousands of miles out into space. It is a shield against the sun's attack.
The magnetic field is a great force field for our planet.
But the power of the wind distorts the shield.
The solar wind deforms the Earth's magnetic field because it's a wind that's blowing from one side relative to the Earth's field. And if the wind is blowing on one side, it's going to actually push one side and it's going to elongate the other side out like a comet tail.
Some of the charged particles of the solar wind collect in the stretched out tail. Like a slingshot, the energy builds up in the tail until it has to be released.
Solar wind particles get deflected perpendicular to how the field is projecting out from the Earth. So that pushes them to either the North or the South Pole.
I think of magnetic fields kind of like lanes on the highway. When you're in a car and you're going to get off the exit ramp, you have to go where the ramp goes. You can't just go anywhere you want. So charged particles get sent to the poles. When they reach the poles, though, most of them bounce back and go to the other pole and oscillate between the North Pole and the South Pole, back and forth, many, many times a second.
Sometimes particles don't get back on the highway. Like a traffic accident off the exit ramp, they collide with gas atoms and molecules, and the energy lights up the polar sky. The color depends on what gets hit.
Oxygen typically gives off a brilliant green color. Nitrogen gives off a red color.
The process behind the aurora is visible in any city on Earth, in neon signs.
You can actually look at neon lights as kind of like aurora in a bottle. You have this gas that has electricity flowing through it, essentially electrons that are flowing, and when they actually impact any of these ions, it excites these ions into a higher energy state, and that gives off light. And the same exact process is occurring up in the upper atmosphere.
The power that creates the aurora lights up the poles. But auroras are also seen in places you'd never expect.
I can't believe it.
What? That our new house is haunted by Casper the Friendly Ghost?
Hey, Jill. Hey, Kurt. Movies? I'll get snacks.
No, I can't believe how easy it was to save hundreds of dollars on our car insurance with Geico.
I got snacks. Ooh, I got popcorn. I got caramel corn. I got kettle corn. Right. Am I so too loud?
Believe it, Geico could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
What does help for heart failure look like? It looks like Jill heading off on an adventure. Jill has Entresto, a heart failure medicine that helps her heart so she can keep on doing what she loves. In the largest heart failure study ever, Entresto was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. It helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium.
The beat goes on.
Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure.
Where to next?
Entrust your heart to Entresto.
The beat goes on.
This week only, large two-topping pizzas at Domino's are only $5.99 each when you carry out. That's why we had to bring in the big guns.
Dennis Strand, Domino's 4-time world's fastest pizza maker.
Carry out any large two-topping pizza for $5.99 this week only.
The only thing better than horsepower is more horsepower. If we were for everyone, we'd be for no one.
With Dodge Power Dollars, more power means more cash allowance. Purchase now and get $10 per horsepower. That's $7,970 on the SRT Challenger Hellcat Redeye.
Sensitive skin? Cetaphil Moisturizing Cream with 24-hour moisture lock formula gives continuous soothing relief for dry, sensitive skin. Cetaphil skin is healthy skin.
This fall, book 2 separate qualifying stays at choicehotels.com and earn a free night. Because when your business is rewarding yourself, our business is you. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
We've got another incoming storm on the way, which looks to break up another beautiful fall day.
You'll always be prepared with everything from cargo tech and cargo liners to floor liners and seat protectors, plus the cup phone to secure your phone. Because you never know when it's going to be a WeatherTech day. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a carpet done.
And now it's time for the latest winter storm update. Here's how the storm is progressing and what to expect in your area. Stay tuned to the Weather Channel for the most up-to-date information.
The 24-hour journey through the strange skies of Earth passes midnight and heads for dawn. As the battle between the planet's protective magnetic field and the energy of the solar wind lights up the poles. But this battle also happens on other planets throughout the solar system. That's because if a planet has a magnetic field, like Jupiter, Saturn, or Neptune, it has auroras.
Very few people realize that there are also moons that have aurora as well. For instance, one of the moons of Jupiter is Ganymede, and Ganymede has its own intrinsic magnetic field, and it has aurora happening all the time.
More than anywhere else, though, auroras are a feast for the eyes on Earth. Yet while the northern lights may inspire awe, they usually don't shock or strike terror. But as the planet turns to the sun and night gives way to day, many Midwesterners are shocked when they wake with the dawn and see 3 suns rising in the east.
Imagine you're walking along and there on your horizon as the sun is rising up, suddenly there are 3 suns? What would you make of that?
It's like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's real. And what's even stranger is that multiple suns have appeared throughout history.
In ancient times, the heavens were the realm of the gods. Seeing 3 suns simultaneously, well, if you were about to engage in a battle, it could be an omen of doom.
Near this English field in 1461, 2 rival armies are terrified by the sudden appearance of 3 suns in the sky, until one commander turns the omen to his advantage.
The commander convinced his troops that these 3 suns were the symbol for his 3 sons, and so this was the sign that they would be victorious.
Inspired, his soldiers win the day, and the commander is crowned King Edward IV. But in ancient, medieval, or modern times, the question remains, what are these mock suns?
It's only in the last few hundred years that we've come to some understanding of them.
They are called sun dogs. And while they sometimes look like extra suns, they can also take on the form of an eye in the sky, or a halo. Sundogs and halos share a secret with lightning. Ice. But not ice crystals and thunderclouds. These crystals are found in cirrus clouds, and they're called diamond dust.
Where I grew up in Alaska, you can have the air itself, not just clouds, but the air itself filled with these tiny little crystals, and it's like the sky itself is filled with the dust of diamonds.
The secret of diamond dust is the way it's formed by water molecules made up of 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogen atoms. The 2 hydrogens link to the oxygen in a V shape. Then the V's form hexagons, flat, 6-sided shapes, like snowflakes. As light passes through these crystals, it's bent or refracted.
Refraction is the bending of light as it passes from one medium through an interface into another. When I put the pencil in, light will be coming directly to you from some of the pencil, and from the rest of it underwater, it'll have to bend as it comes out of the water. That will give you the appearance of the pencil being slightly displaced.
But in the sky, sunlight and diamond dust aren't enough to make a sundog. It also takes wind and gravity.
Imagine leaves falling from a tree. High pressure on one side of the leaf will push it up, creating a vacuum on the other side that pulls it. Eventually, that'll happen on both sides, and the leaves fall flat. Same with the crystals.
Wind and gravity stack the crystals like plates.
They're flat like this. And sunlight enters one edge, one side of this hexagonal plate, goes through it, and comes out two sides later. By doing so, it gets bent, but also spread out a little bit.
When sunlight refracts through these ice crystals at about 22 degrees, you can get mock suns on either side, or sundogs.
But air currents sometimes make leaves and ice crystals fall with one edge tilted down. When this happens, the crystals align at a different angle. And instead of mock suns, the refracted light creates towers called sun pillars.
Sun pillars are visible directly above or beneath the sun when it's low towards the horizon. Imagine a bunch of tiny mirrors above the sun, each reflecting the sun's light, and you get this pillar of light above and beneath the sun.
But is Earth the only planet where these strange phenomena can be witnessed?
The Earth is not alone in having an atmosphere. We are not the only planet with gases above us. Go to Mars.
Although Mars has an atmosphere that's only 1/100th as thick as Earth's, the red planet might have sundogs, formed by Martian ice crystals made up of both water and carbon dioxide. Back on Earth, the planet has kept turning, and several hours after the triple sunrise in the Midwest, in the Pacific Northwest, the sky blazes with another mystery. Light from space bent into forms that seem to defy belief.
I've been using this glove since I was a kid.
Hey, Grandpa.
Hey! It's a perfect fit. I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Like our wireless service, Consumer Cellular. They have exactly what we need at a really great price.
Consumer Cellular offers talk, text, and data for as low as $20 a month, and they've been an approved AARP provider for over 10 years, so members get exclusive discounts.
Consumer Cellular fits us like, you know.
Make the switch to Consumer Cellular. Call, go online, or find us at Target.
Wow, that's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up, banana, bend at the waist.
I'm trying. Keep it up. You'll get there.
Whoa!
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
Fact is, every insurance company hopes you drive safely. But Allstate actually helps you drive safely with DriveWise. It lets you know when you go too fast and brake too hard. With feedback to help you drive safer, giving you the power to actually lower your cost. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
I know people love the dish remote. It's great. So why build in the Google Assistant? I mean, who really needs a TV remote that can turn the thermostat up,
change temperature to 72,
the lights down,
dim the lights,
and still access their DVR?
play Rio?
Actually, some people could absolutely use a remote like that.
The new Dish Voice Remote. Dish, tuned in to you.
So you're with the UPS store?
Yes. In fact, we printed these right here.
I thought you guys just did shipping.
No, we do printing, packing, faxing, notarizing, shredding, mailboxing, designing, returning, storing, grading. Oh, and of course, shipping.
So you're into shipping?
We also do printing, packing, faxing.
Come into the UPS store today for everything your small business needs. And of course, shipping. Get a real street address when you open a mailbox at the UPS store today.
It's chicken and waffles basket time at DQ.
Chicken strips,
Belgian waffles,
syrup,
fries,
savory,
sweet.
My lady,
My man.
Your daughter.
Oh, I love our daughter.
DQ. Happy tastes good.
During an emergency,
a network becomes a critical line of communication, connecting first responders to technology and to each other. FirstNet is the only officially authorized, highly secure wireless network without throttling or the clutter of commercial traffic. Built with and for first responders. It's the help you need to help the people who need you.
Create your dream home with the experts at Lumber Liquidators Flooring. This week, save up to 40% on select hardwoods, or up to 29% on waterproof floors, plus special financing. These are the floors homes are built on. Only at Lumber Liquidators.
The Lexus ES. Every curve, every innovation, every feeling. A product of mastery.
Lease the 2019 ES350 for $379 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Mama, Mama.
Why do I keep falling asleep during the day? What's making me so tired? I kept asking myself these questions. It felt like I was more than tired. Then I was diagnosed with narcolepsy. There are 5 major symptoms. I waited too long to take action, but you don't have to.
Visit morethantired.com now. Take the narcolepsy symptom screener and find a sleep specialist to share your results. Don't wait. Visit morethantired.com today.
Our 24-hour tour of Earth's strange skies has reached mid-afternoon. And in a cloud, it looks like the spectrum has burst into flame. People call it a fire rainbow. But it's not a rainbow. And its fire is frozen. Its flames are made of ice. The same flat, 6-sided crystals in cirrus clouds that generate sundogs make fire rainbows. But why do they look so different? Because the light from the sun is passing through the crystals at different angles.
There are similar processes that go into it as a rainbow, but it's not a rainbow because it's ice crystals and not raindrops.
With a real rainbow, the multicolored arch seen after a storm, the secret isn't ice. It's liquid water. Most people realize a rainbow represents all the colors of the spectrum, with rain acting as a prism. A process that starts 93 million miles away.
So now imagine you're riding a light wave from the sun that comes into our atmosphere, and it hits this shower of rain, spherical water droplets.
The light that goes into the sphere bends and breaks into different colors.